Comfort is seductive. It whispers to you that you are safe, that you do not need to push harder, that you can stay exactly where you are. But the truth is, comfort never created greatness. No one ever discovered their full potential while sitting in the warmth of certainty. Growth only happens when you step into the unknown, when you face challenges that stretch you beyond what you thought you could handle, when you endure the storms that test your spirit and demand that you rise stronger. Struggles are not interruptions to your journey. They are the very path to becoming your best self. Every person who has achieved something meaningful has walked through pain, rejection, and difficulty. Those struggles did not break them, they built them. It is easy to smile when life is easy, but it is in the moments when you are broken, when you feel lost, when you are pushed to your limits, that your true character is revealed. Struggles strip away illusions. They force you to confront your weaknesses, to discover your strength, and to rise with resilience you never knew you had. Without those challenges, you would never grow into the person you were meant to become. Think about the way a diamond is formed. It begins as carbon, ordinary and unremarkable, but under extreme pressure and heat, it transforms into something rare, beautiful, and unbreakable. The same is true for you. Without pressure, you remain the same, but with struggle, with challenge, with pressure, you evolve into someone extraordinary. It is the weight of your struggles that refines you into strength. Struggles also teach you humility. They remind you that you are not invincible, that you do not have all the answers, and that growth requires learning. Failure, rejection, loss, these are not punishments, they are lessons. Every setback carries within it a message, a chance to improve, a reason to change your approach. Those who run from struggle rob themselves of wisdom, but those who embrace it become wiser, stronger, and more capable with every step forward. You must understand that life will not hand you growth in the moments when everything feels easy. Growth hides inside discomfort, when you are nervous before taking a risk, when you are unsure of whether you will succeed, when you walk into territory you have never explored. That is where the magic of transformation lies. Growth is uncomfortable because it requires you to let go of who you are so you can become who you are meant to be. And letting go of the old version of yourself will always feel like a battle. It is in the gym of life's struggles that your muscles of character are built. Just as physical muscles grow only through resistance, your spirit grows only through challenges. If you lift no weight, your muscles remain weak. If you face no resistance, your potential remains dormant. But each challenge is like a weight that, when lifted, makes you stronger. Struggles are not signs of weakness. They are training grounds for strength. Do not wish for an easy life. Easy lives produce mediocrity. Wish instead for the strength to handle a difficult life, because difficulty produces greatness. If everything came to you without effort, you would never know the depth of your own power. You would never know how high you could climb. The climb is hard because it is worth it. And once you stand on top of the mountain, you will realize that it was the struggle of climbing that made you capable of reaching such heights. Think of the butterfly. Before it can spread its wings and fly, it must struggle inside the cocoon. That struggle is not punishment, it is preparation. The effort of breaking free is what gives the butterfly the strength to fly. If someone were to cut the cocoon open and free it without struggle, the butterfly would never develop the strength to survive. The same is true for you. If life removed every obstacle from your path, you would never learn how to endure, how to persevere, how to fight for your dreams. It is your struggle that prepares you for the freedom of your own flight. Struggles are also mirrors. They show you who you really are. When everything is easy, it is simple to believe you are strong, determined, and capable. But when life knocks you down, when people doubt you, when doors close, that is when you discover what you are truly made of. Struggles test your patience, your faith, your resilience. And each time you rise after being knocked down, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than the storm. That proof becomes the foundation of unshakable confidence. Many people avoid struggle because they fear pain, but the pain of growth is always less than the pain of regret. If you avoid struggle, you may feel comfortable for a while, But one day you will look back and realize you stayed small because you refused to face what was hard. Comfort will give you temporary peace, but struggle will give you permanent growth. And growth is what brings true fulfillment. Struggles also reveal the value of success. If success came without effort, without pain, without sacrifice, it would feel meaningless. It is the late nights, the failures, the doubts, and the perseverance that make victory taste so sweet. Success without struggle is empty, but success earned through struggle carries a depth of pride and gratitude that nothing else can match. When you struggle, you don't just win the prize. You become the kind of person who deserves the prize. You must learn to reframe the way you see struggles. Do not see them as punishments or signs that life is against you. See them as opportunities. Each struggle is a teacher in disguise. Each challenge a lesson meant to prepare you for what you asked for. You cannot ask for strength without expecting weights to lift. You cannot ask for courage without facing fear. You cannot ask for growth without being stretched. Struggles are life's way of answering your prayers, of preparing you for the things you desire most. Remember that even the darkest seasons of struggle do not last forever. Storms pass, winters end, nights turn into days. But what you learn in those seasons stays with you forever. Struggles will come and go, but the strength they leave behind remains. That strength becomes part of who you are, part of the foundation you stand on as you continue your journey. The lessons you learn from struggle cannot be taken away from you. They are gifts earned through resilience. Do not envy those who seem to have it easy. Do not compare your struggles to someone else's smooth path. Their comfort may look appealing, but it is your struggle that will make you extraordinary. Greatness is not born in comfort, it is forged in fire. Every scar tells a story of survival. Every battle faced builds the warrior within. One day, your struggles will become the very reason others look to you for inspiration. So embrace your struggles. Lean into them instead of running away. Trust that every challenge you face is not breaking you, it is building you. Every closed door is pushing you toward the right one. Every setback is setting the stage for a greater comeback. Growth is not found in the moments when everything goes right. Growth is found in the moments when everything goes wrong, and you choose to rise anyway. Comparison is one of the greatest thieves of joy. From a very young age, we are conditioned to measure ourselves against others. Grades in school, trophies in sports, titles in careers, or wealth in society. Everywhere we turn, there is someone who seems to be doing better, going further, shining brighter. But when you live your life trying to outdo everyone else, you will always feel like you are falling behind, because there will always be someone ahead of you in some way. The truth is, real growth begins when you stop running someone else's race and start focusing on your own. The only person you need to compete with is the person you were yesterday. When you wake up each morning, you are given a fresh opportunity to become better than you were the day before. That is your real competition. Did you learn more? Did you grow in patience? Did you take one step closer to your dreams? Did you make progress, no matter how small? These are the questions that truly matter. Competing with yourself keeps you grounded in growth, while competing with others traps you in insecurity. The best version of you cannot be created by copying someone else. It must be crafted by your own journey of becoming. Comparison blinds you to your own gifts. When you fixate on what others are doing, you overlook the strengths that make you unique. Imagine a flower looking at another and wishing it had different petals or a different color. It forgets that its own beauty lies in being different. You have your own path, your own timing, your own purpose. Just because someone else is ahead in their journey doesn't mean you are behind. Life is not a race with a finish line where everyone arrives at the same time. It is a personal marathon, and each runner has their own track. Your only responsibility is to keep moving forward on yours. The danger of competing with others is that it often leads to emptiness. You might win the race against them, you might get the promotion, you might earn more, but if it wasn't aligned with your own values and vision, the victory will feel hollow. Competing with others drives you to chase things that may not even matter to you, simply because you want to win. But when you compete with yourself, you focus on the goals that matter to your heart, the progress that fulfills you deeply, and the victories that feel genuine because they are yours. Think of the progress you make when you compare yourself not to others, but to your past self. Look back 5 years, 2 years, even 6 months. Who were you then? What fears held you back? What dreams seemed too far away? And now, look at how much you have grown. Perhaps you are more confident, more skilled, more disciplined. Perhaps you have faced hardships that tested you and survived them with resilience. That is progress. That is winning. That is the true measurement of success. Competing with yourself means recognizing your growth and honoring your journey instead of trying to fit into someone else's story. The greatest achievements are born not from trying to be better than others, but from trying to be the best version of yourself. The most extraordinary people in history were not looking sideways to see who they were up against. They were too busy pursuing their passions, honing their craft, and pushing the boundaries of their own abilities. Their greatness came not from comparison, but from focus, and the same is true for you. If you spend your life looking left and right, you will miss the beauty of the road ahead. When you compete with yourself, you find freedom, freedom from the toxic cycle of comparison, freedom from jealousy and envy, freedom from feeling like you are never enough. You no longer measure your worth by someone else's accomplishments. You measure it by your growth, your effort, your resilience. You begin to see that success is not about being better than anyone else. It is about being better than you were yesterday. And when that mindset becomes your foundation, no one else's success can shake your confidence, because you are rooted in your own progress. Competing with yourself also builds discipline. When you know that your goal is to outgrow your past self, you begin to cultivate habits that support your growth. You start setting higher standards for yourself. You demand more of your time, your energy, your focus. You hold yourself accountable, not because of external pressure, but because of internal desire. And that is the kind of discipline that lasts, because it comes from within. There is a unique kind of joy in looking back at your own journey and realizing how far you have come. Maybe you once struggled to believe in yourself, and now you carry confidence. Maybe you once feared failure, and now you embrace it as part of growth. Maybe you once settled for less, and now you demand more of yourself and your life. That joy cannot come from outshining others. It can only come from outgrowing yourself. It is deeply personal, deeply fulfilling, and deeply empowering. Competing with yourself also means giving yourself grace. There will be days when you fall short, days when you fail, days when you feel stuck. But instead of seeing those moments as proof that you are not enough, you learn to see them as part of the process. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to keep moving forward. Growth is not linear. Some days you will take great leaps, and other days you will stumble. But as long as you keep rising, as long as you keep striving, you are still competing, still growing, still becoming. Comparison with others often leads to envy, but self-comparison leads to gratitude. When you measure your life against someone else's, you focus on what you lack. But when you measure your life against your own past, you see what you have gained, how much you have overcome, and how strong you have become. Gratitude grows when you realize you are not who you used to be, and that is worth celebrating. Gratitude is fuel, and it keeps you motivated to continue the journey of self-competition. Another reason to compete with yourself is that it keeps you authentic. When you are focused on being better than others, you may be tempted to compromise your values, to cut corners, or to pursue goals that do not align with who you are. But when your focus is inward, you stay true to yourself. You are not chasing approval. You are not chasing validation. You are chasing growth. That authenticity shines through in everything you do, and it inspires others without you even trying. Every great transformation begins when you stop asking, "How do I measure up to them?" and start asking, "How do I measure up to who I was yesterday?" That simple shift changes everything. It takes your power back from the outside world and puts it in your hands. It allows you to take control of your journey and own your progress. It turns life from a competition into a personal evolution. And when you live with that mindset, you become unstoppable, because no one else's success can limit yours. Life is too short to waste on comparison. There will always be someone younger, wealthier, smarter, faster, or more talented, but none of that matters because they are not you. They are not living your story. They are not walking your path. You are the only person who can live your life, and you are the only person you should compete with. You owe it to yourself to become the best version of you, not a copy of someone else, not a shadow of another person's greatness, but your own authentic, evolving self. So each day, set the goal to outgrow who you were yesterday. Learn more than you knew before. Be braver than you were before. Show more kindness, more discipline, more resilience than you did before. Measure your progress not in comparison to others, but in comparison to your past self. And as you do this, you will see your life transform, not because you were better than others, but because you became the best version of yourself. Greatness does not come to those who wait for the perfect conditions, or those who seek constant approval from the world. Greatness comes to those who dare to step into the unknown with courage, who dare to chase their vision even when no one else sees it, and who live with a sense of alignment between who they are and what they do. It is not enough to dream, it is not enough to hope. Without courage, dreams remain fantasies, and without alignment, actions feel empty. To truly become the best version of yourself, you must have the bravery to walk your path unapologetically and the discipline to make sure that your steps align with your values. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to move forward despite fear. Every meaningful achievement in life requires walking through fear, doubt, and uncertainty. If you wait to feel ready, you will wait forever. Readiness is not something that arrives before action. It is something you build through action. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones who never feel fear. They are the ones who choose to move even while their knees shake and their hearts race. Fear will always whisper reasons to stay where you are, but courage speaks louder and says, "Go anyway." The truth is, comfort zones are cages. They feel safe, but they trap your potential. It takes courage to break free from them. It takes courage to take risks, to start something new, to admit you don't have all the answers, and to trust yourself enough to keep going. Every time you take a courageous step, you expand your limits. What once felt impossible begins to feel normal, and you grow into a version of yourself you never imagined. Courage does not just change your actions, it transforms your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who is limited by fear and start seeing yourself as someone who is defined by bravery. But courage alone is not enough. Courage can make you move, but alignment ensures that you move in the right direction. Alignment means living in a way that matches your deepest values, your truest self, and your vision for your life. Too many people chase goals that do not belong to them. They pursue careers, relationships, or lifestyles that look impressive to others but feel empty inside. That emptiness is a sign of misalignment. True fulfillment comes when your choices reflect your purpose, when your actions match your beliefs, and when your path resonates with your soul. Alignment gives meaning to courage. Without it, you might achieve success, but it will not satisfy you. You might gain applause, but you will still feel lost. But when your actions are aligned with your inner compass, even the smallest victories feel profound, because they represent more than achievement. They represent authenticity. Living in alignment means you no longer wear masks, no longer betray yourself to please others, and no longer compromise your integrity for temporary rewards. Alignment is freedom, and it is the foundation of greatness. Courage and alignment are like two wings of the same bird. With only one, you cannot fly. If you have courage but no alignment, you may achieve much, but none of it will feel right. If you have alignment but no courage, you may know your purpose, but you will never pursue it fully. Only when you combine courage with alignment do you rise into the sky of your true potential. Courage also demands sacrifice. It requires you to walk away from comfort, from approval, from the opinions of those who do not understand your vision. It means being willing to stand alone if necessary, to risk failure, and to embrace uncertainty. Courage does not guarantee that you will succeed immediately, but it guarantees that you will grow. Every time you choose courage, you plant seeds of strength. And in time, those seeds grow into the harvest of greatness. Alignment requires honesty with yourself. It means asking hard questions. Who am I really? What do I value most? What impact do I want to leave? Am I living for myself or for the expectations of others? Too many people live lives designed by someone else's blueprint. Parents, society, peers. They achieve milestones that look successful on the outside, but leave them empty on the inside. Alignment demands that you break away from that pattern. It asks you to be bold enough to define success on your own terms and disciplined enough to live according to that definition. When courage and alignment meet, something extraordinary happens. You become unstoppable. You no longer chase superficial validation because your path feels right within you. You no longer fear failure because you know that even mistakes are part of your aligned journey. You no longer compare yourself to others because you are too busy becoming the fullest expression of yourself. You discover a deep well of energy and motivation because nothing drains you faster than living out of alignment, and nothing fuels you more than living in truth. Consider how many dreams in this world die, not because people lacked talent, but because they lacked courage. They had the vision, they had the gifts, but fear kept them silent. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of rejection. Courage is the antidote to that fear. It gives you the strength to try, to risk, to fail, and to rise again. Without courage, your dreams remain locked inside you. With courage, you bring them to life. But courage alone is not enough. Think of those who pursued success at all costs, but ended up feeling empty. They reached the top of the ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. That is what happens when courage is not paired with alignment. You must ask yourself not just, am I brave enough to chase this, but also, does this truly reflect who I am and who I want to become? When the answer is yes, then every step, no matter how hard, becomes meaningful. Living with courage and alignment is not easy. It requires you to make tough decisions. It may mean walking away from people who no longer fit your path. It may mean saying no to opportunities that look good on the outside but do not match your values. It may mean facing criticism for choosing a different road. But every sacrifice made in courage and alignment is worth it, because it takes you closer to the life you were meant to live. The world does not need more people who blindly follow the crowd. It needs people who are brave enough to stand out, who live authentically, and who align their lives with values that uplift, inspire, and create impact. When you live this way, you not only transform yourself, you inspire others to do the same. Your courage becomes contagious. Your alignment becomes an example, and your life becomes a light for those who are still searching for their path. Greatness is not about how much you achieve. It is about how much of yourself you bring into what you achieve. It is about living with such courage and alignment that every action you take reflects who you truly are. It is about knowing that even if the world does not applaud you, you can stand tall because you lived authentically, you pursued your vision, and you stayed true to your values. So let courage guide your steps and alignment guide your direction. Let courage push you beyond fear and alignment pull you toward purpose. Together, they will create a life that is not only successful but significant, not only impressive but inspiring, not only full of achievements but full of meaning. And in that space, true greatness is born.